What's up, guys? Today's episode is all about the Amazon effect and how Amazon and other online retailers are crushing traditional retail. But some companies like Best Buy are still thriving. Check it out.
People calling me up saying they need a feature, saying we can help each other, but I see the leeches. Get the credit where it's due, I ain't talking Visa. But since we talking Visa, don't say you won't pay me either. Did you catch that?
So if you have not heard about the company Amazon, you're living under a rock. There are many businesses that have gone under as a result of Amazon offering very low prices, cheap, quick, easy, free delivery, and basically online retailing at its best. So Amazon started as an online bookstore solely focused on book sales and then grew into all different types of industries and the giant that they are today. So retailers today, in order to stay relevant, are forced to focus on their omni-channel presence using the internet as well as their brick and mortar locations. Best Buy has done a great job with the ups and downs from the impact that Amazon and other online retailers have had on their business, and weathering the storm and coming out the other end still as a very strong big box retailer. In the 1960s, a salesman by the name of Richard Schultz opened a store called Sound of Music that sold electronic equipment including speakers, stereo systems, and vinyl records. Later on in the 1980s, that store was converted to a big box format and renamed Best Buy. Over the next 20 years, Best Buy would go on to be the largest seller of electronics in the US in the golden age of big box retail. In the 80s and 90s, it was good to go big, so the big box retailers were born, and you had large format stores that were selling every different category essentially. Best Buy became the dominant one in the electronics, along with CompUSA, Circuit City, retailers that later ended up going out of business. In the home improvement segment, you had Home Depot and Lowe's Home Improvement. In the home goods segment, you had Bed Bath & Beyond and Linens and Things. And in the pet store segment, you had companies like PetSmart and Petco, which are still around today. All retail was majorly affected in the downturn of 2008, and some of the companies that went out of business was one that had a positive impact on Best Buy by the name of Circuit City. In 2008, retail hit a major downturn and everything went to a halt. That had a major impact on every category, including the electronics category, with Circuit City going out of business. Circuit City going out of business definitely had a major impact on Best Buy and pushed them into the front position in the category. At the same time, Amazon started to grow from that once original format of selling books into the electronics arena. They had a major advantage online. You did not have to pay for shipping, and sales tax was also something that they had an advantage on. So as they came into the electronics arena, it started to have an impact on the retailers like Best Buy. In 2011, Best Buy's net income was as much as $1.2 billion. And in 2012, only 12 months later, it was actually negative $1 billion. So needless to say, 2012 was not a great year for Best Buy. So they had to go on and make many different changes. They ended up pulling out the existing CEO, who climbed up the ranks through wearing his blue shirt in the store and up into the CEO role, and they replaced him with a new person, Hubert Joly, to turn around the company and restructure everything. Joly came in and focused on a few different things that helped turn around Best Buy. One of those things was price matching other retailers, including Amazon. Another thing was increasing store inventory, something that obviously Amazon can't do. People could come into the store and touch and feel a product. When I'm looking to buy appliances, I'm not going to be able to shop online to get myself a new refrigerator, right? You have to understand the dimensions, you have to look at, touch and feel different products, and that's really what's important for a retailer like Best Buy. They did go through a phase, obviously, when the internet was something that was a little bit newer, called showrooming, right, where the consumer would come in, they'd touch and feel the product, and then obviously they'd take the SKU and they'd go home and they'd make the purchase on their computer. It still happens today, but the retailers are getting smarter. They're understanding how to work with the consumer through price matching, other incentives, because when you think about it, I personally, as a consumer, want a place to return something. I'm not a big Amazon shopper because I'm not happy receiving something and then having to box it and send it back, even if it's free shipping. For me, I'd much rather come to a store. product. In addition, they focused on service. That's another big thing that differentiated Best Buy from other retailers, especially ones like Amazon, who do not have an in-store format to provide additional service. So another thing that Best Buy did really, really well was create a store-in-a-store experience. So they partnered up with a lot of their vendors, Samsung, Apple, and they created specific kiosks in the store that those companies could occupy. Those companies would also bring in their own people who obviously know the product better than anybody. Not only would they bring in their people, but their people would train the Best Buy salespeople as well. So they were, again, providing a better service than most other companies out there. It became very evident in these vendor relationships with Best Buy that it was mutually beneficial. So as the downturn happened and Best Buy started to go through their slump, it was very important to these manufacturers and these partners that Best Buy did not go out of business, which became very helpful to Best Buy, and it helped them partner with these vendors to pull them out of the downturn. Best Buy also started to put a lot of money behind the training of the floor employees, and another big differentiation was the Geek Squad. Geek Squad visits 1.8 million homes annually, and it enables them to not only take the product from the store, set it up at home, but it provides a whole different level of service and also provides the consumer with a place to service and to fix their electronics. So since we are here at Best Buy and we're next to a Staples, I wanted to just point out that Staples is a retailer that is starting to look at store closings and actually downsizing a lot of their locations. Like a lot of retailers today, their traditional format of 13,000 plus square feet is just not relevant. They're doing a lot of online sales and they do not need the same square footage to store all of the computer equipment and stuff that they stock inside of their stores. So a smaller format makes sense for retailers today, but you're not hearing a lot about that for companies like Best Buy, which I think is interesting because it's really going against what everybody else is doing. So another example of how Best Buy is doing such a good job maintaining their bigger format and their bigger store footprint and still doing really well today. So in a world where you hear retail apocalypse almost daily, there are companies that are doing extremely well, especially still in that larger format footprint like Best Buy. Now, the future is unsure. Will these stores downsize? Will they stay in the same format? But with Amazon and other online retailers having a major impact today on traditional big box retailers, the time will tell on how companies like Best Buy are able to get around that and thrive in today's world.